In 1972, against the backdrop of the Vietnam War, still a painful wound, a television series premiered that would forever change how war was portrayed. On screen, that work was called MASH 1972, with its story of the 4077th Mobile Army Surgical Hospital in the heart of the Korean War, where doctors, nurses, and soldiers used laughter and grim jokes to confront the brutality of reality. The work was not only a resounding commercial success, but also became a cultural phenomenon, an unforgettable part of an entire generation's memory. But behind those classic characters are actors with their own very separate fates. More than 50 years have passed, and time has etched different marks on their lives. Some continued to shine brightly, becoming icons of the entertainment industry. Some chose a quieter path, leaving the spotlight behind. And there were also those who had to stop their journey in tragedy. Let us look back at the tumultuous journey of the cast that brought the soul to MASH 1972. Alan Alda as Captain Benjamin Franklin Hawkeye Pierce. In MASH 1972, the character of Hawkeye Pierce was its irreplaceable soul, with his sharp intellect, extraordinary surgical talent, and a defiant attitude that challenged every meaningless military rule. Hawkeye left an indelible impression. But behind that sarcastic exterior was a humane heart, a soul tormented by the absurdity of war. Alan Alda's performance at the time, at age 36, brilliantly portrayed the character's complexity, perfectly balancing comedy and tragedy. He didn't just play Hawkeye, he was Hawkeye. And this role earned him 2 prestigious Emmy Awards. After the resounding success of MASH 1972, Alan Alda's career not only continued, but soared to new heights, establishing him as a rare, multi-talented artist. He was not just an actor, but also a talented director and screenwriter who helped shape some of the series' most profound episodes after. Hanging up his army uniform, he continued to conquer the big screen with memorable roles, culminating in his portrayal of Senator Ralph Owen Brewster in The Aviator 2004, which earned him a prestigious Academy Award nomination. Not stopping at acting, he found a new passion in science, becoming the host of Scientific American Frontiers for over a decade, inspiring millions with the beauty of knowledge. In his personal life, he has had an admirable marriage to his wife Arlene Weiss since 1957, a testament to enduring love amidst the volatility of Hollywood. He also bravely faced health challenges, from a battle with polio in his childhood to publicly announcing his Parkinson's disease diagnosis. The most thought-provoking thing is the connection between the role and his life. It seems the role of Hawkeye Pierce was a true reflection of the man himself. While on screen, the character was an intellectual who always asked questions and sought the truth in real life. Alan Alda is the same. He is an avid learner, a social activist, and the founder of the Alan Alda Center for Boo, communicating science with a life philosophy of always being curious and communicating effectively. Today, at the age of 89, Alan Alda is still continuing his acting career and tirelessly contributing to society through his activities. His journey is a testament to a life of relentless effort, constant learning, and unceasing inspiration. From a wartime surgeon, he has become a healer of souls through his wisdom and humanity. Loretta Swit as Major Margaret Hot Lips Houlihan. In MASH 1972, the character of Margaret Houlihan, initially known by the nickname Hot Lips, was a memorable antagonist. She was the embodiment of rigid military discipline, a stark contrast to the rebellious nature of Hawkeye and Trapper. Loretta Swit's performance at the time, at age 35, brilliantly portrayed a professional woman who was also full of contradictions. The most wonderful part was the character's development. From a rigid woman, Margaret gradually became more humane, stronger, and more independent, escaping the shadow of the men in her life. A groundbreaking character evolution for television at the time. This role earned her 2 Emmy Awards. After her phenomenal success with MASH 1972, Loretta Swit continued to have a durable and diverse career. She was not typecast by her fateful role, but actively participated in many different fields. She returned to her first love, the stage, appearing on Broadway and receiving much acclaim. She also took part in films and television movies, notably playing Christine Cagney in the pilot film for the series Cagney-Lacey. But perhaps the biggest role of her later life was not in acting. She became a tireless animal rights activist, a vegetarian, and a powerful voice for the Humane Society of the United States. She dedicates most of her time and passion to protecting creatures that cannot defend themselves. In addition, she is also an artist, a writer, and a jewelry designer. The most thought-provoking thing is the connection between the role and her life. It seems Margaret Houlihan's journey strangely mirrored her own while on screen. The character fought to find her own voice and independence to become a strong woman in real life. Loretta Sweet is also such a person. She is an independent artist, a passionate activist who is not afraid to stand up for her beliefs. Today, at the age of 88, Loretta Sweet is still a woman full of energy. She lives a purposeful life, dedicated to art and her charitable activities. Her journey is a testament to how a woman can constantly reinvent herself, ceaselessly fight for what she believes in, and continue to inspire future generations. Jamie Farr as Corporal Maxwell Q. Klinger in MASH, 1972. The character of Maxwell Klinger was one of the most unique and hilarious creations. With his magnificent dresses and endless schemes to get sent home, Klinger provided the biggest laughs. Jamie Farr's performance at the time, at age 38, gracefully and sympathetically portrayed a man who, despite his bizarre actions, was deep down a good soldier and a kind person. Initially, just a guest role, Klinger became so beloved that he became a main character who later matured and took on the role of the unit's company clerk. After MASH, 1972 ended, Jamie Farr's career continued with a series of roles in television and on stage. He participated in the spin-off series After MASH and became a familiar face on game shows and in plays. He is a hard-working actor who always brought joy to the audience. But the proudest aspect of his life is his deep connection to his hometown of Toledo, Ohio. He never forgot his roots. He became an unofficial ambassador for the city, actively participating in community activities and charity fundraising. A park in Toledo is even named after him. In his personal life, he has had a lasting marriage with his wife, Joy Ann Richards, since 1963, and is a family man. The most thought-provoking thing is the connection between the role and his life. It seems the role of Klinger had an interesting yet meaningful contrast to the real man. While on screen, the character was always trying to get out of the army in real life. Jamie Farr is a true veteran who served in the United States Army in Japan and Korea. And while Klinger was Lebanese in real life, Jamie Farr is also proud of his Lebanese heritage. He turned a comedic role into a quiet tribute to his roots. Today, at the age of 91, Jamie Farr is retired and enjoys a peaceful life with his family. His journey is a testament to a durable career, a heart that always turned towards home, and a man who brought laughter to millions while always preserving his own core values. William Christopher as Father Francis Mulcahy. In MASH, 1972, the character of Father Francis Mulcahy was the moral compass of the 4077th. Amidst the chaos, sarcasm, and jokes that sometimes went too far, he was a presence of kindness and calm. William Christopher's performance at the time, at age 40, brilliantly portrayed a humble priest who always felt small among the heroic surgeons but possessed immense spiritual strength. He didn't judge, he listened. He didn't preach, he acted. He was the one who brought comfort in the darkest hours. After MASH, 1972, Rapt William Christopher continued his association with the role of Father Mulcahy in the series After MASH. He also took on several other guest roles, but his life had another mission even greater than acting. He and his wife Barbara were parents to a son with autism from their own family's experiences and struggles. They became pioneers in raising awareness about autism. He dedicated much of his time and passion to participating in charitable activities, writing a book, and sharing his experiences to help families in similar situations. He became a devoted father, not just to his own family, but to an entire community. The most thought-provoking thing is the connection between the role and his life. It seems the role of Father Mulcahy strangely and profoundly mirrored his own life. While on screen, the character cared for the spiritual lives of the soldiers, bringing comfort and hope in real life. William Christopher lived a similar life. He turned his personal challenges into a mission to serve to help the vulnerable. The compassion and humility of Father Mulcahy were the very essence of William Christopher the man. However, that journey full of humanity had to come to an end after a battle with cancer on the very last day of the year, December 31st, 2016. William Christopher passed away at the age of 84 from non-small cell lung cancer. His passing left a great void. The legacy he left behind is not just the role of the gentle chaplain, but a life story of a man who lived fully with faith and love, a man who turned art into a call for compassion. Gary Berghoff as Corporal Walter Radar. O'Reilly. In MASH 1972, the character of Radar O'Reilly was the embodiment of innocence amidst the brutal battlefield. With his teddy bear always by his side, his love for grape Nehi soda, and his ability to hear helicopters before anyone else, Radar was the pure heart of the unit. Gary Berghoff's performance at the time, at age 29, brilliantly portrayed an Iowa farm boy thrown into an adult's war. He was the only main cast member from the TV series to have played his role in the original 1970 film, showing the inseparable bond between him and the character. After MASH became a phenomenon, Gary Berghoff was one of its most beloved stars. However, the pressure of the grueling work schedule and being away from his family led to burnout. He made a decision that shocked fans to leave the series in its 8th season. He felt he had given his all to Radar and needed to return to real life. He later participated in the spin-off series Walter, but it was not successful. He gradually withdrew from the spotlight to pursue other passions. He became a wildlife painter, a professional jazz musician, and an inventor. He dedicated his time to raising his children and enjoying a quiet life far from the noise of Hollywood. The most thought-provoking thing is the connection between the role and his life. It seems the role of Radar O'Reilly strangely mirrored his own life. While on screen, the character was a country boy who always longed to return home to his farm in Iowa. In real life, Gary Berghoff also chose to go home, leaving the pinnacle of fame to find peace with his family and personal passions. Both were sensitive souls, somewhat unsuited to the chaotic world around them. Today, at the age of 82, Gary Berghoff is living a peaceful life. He occasionally participates in fan events, but most of his time is devoted to his art and family. His journey is a testament to the courage of daring to place personal happiness above career, a valuable lesson about knowing when enough is enough and finding fulfillment in a simple life. David Ogden Stiers as Major Charles Emerson, Winchester III. When Larry Linville left, replacing a detestable villain like Frank Burns was an impossible task. Instead, the producers created Charles Emerson, Winchester III, a completely different character. He was a talented surgeon from Harvard, an arrogant lover of classical music. David Ogden Stiers' performance at the time, at age 35, brought an incredible sophistication and depth to the role. Charles was no fool. He was Hawkeye's intellectual equal, but behind that haughty exterior was a compassionate man who had some of the series' most profound moments of humanity, especially when he taught music to Chinese soldiers, or when he was confronted with the brutality of war. After MASH 1972, David Ogden Stiers' career continued to flourish, especially in the field of voice acting. His warm and elegant baritone voice became part of millions of childhoods through Disney animated films. He was the voice of Cogsworth in Beauty and the Beast, Governor Ratcliffe in Pocahontas, and Jumba Jookiba in Lilo Stitch. He was also a talented conductor leading several symphony orchestras. He was a true artist, a man of great knowledge and a deep love for the arts. He lived a rather private life, especially regarding his personal affairs. The most thought-provoking thing is the connection between the role and his life. It seems the role of Charles Winchester was a true reflection of the man himself. While on screen, the character was an intellectual, an art lover with a rare sophistication in real life. David Ogden Stiers was the same. He was a multi-talented artist, a man of intellect and a sensitive soul. Charles' erudition was David's erudition. However, that journey full of art and intellect had to come to an end. On March 3, 2018, David Ogden Stiers passed away at the age of 75 from complications of bladder cancer. His passing left a great void in both the acting and voice acting worlds. The legacy he left behind is not just the role of the arrogant major, but the life story of a true Renaissance man who enriched the world with his talent and his intellect. Mike Farrell as Captain B.J. Hunnicutt. When Wayne Rogers left MASH 1972, faced a great challenge finding a new best friend for Hawkeye. And B.J. Hunnicutt arrived. He was different, a husband and father devoted to his family, a man who always maintained his fidelity and moral values. Mike Farrell's performance at the time at age 36 brilliantly portrayed a good man thrown into hell. His interaction with Hawkeye created a new friendship, deeper and more complex. BJ was not just comic relief, he was Hawkeye's conscience, and through his eyes the audience saw the pain of separation and homesickness in war. After MASH 1972 concluded, Mike Farrell not only continued his acting career, but also became a passionate social and political activist. He used his fame as a platform to fight for the causes he believed in. Human rights, the death penalty, the environment, and social justice. He traveled the world to war-torn lands, becoming a powerful voice for the voiceless. He also founded his own production company, creating socially meaningful films, including Patch Adams. He is a man who is not afraid to stand up for his beliefs, even in the face of criticism. The most thought-provoking thing is the connection between the role and his life. It seems the role of B.J. Hunnicutt was a foreshadowing of the path he would take. While on screen, the character had a strong moral compass, always fighting for what was right in his own way. In real life, Mike Farrell turned that into his life's mission. He brought BJ's integrity and compassion from the Korean battlefield to the real world, becoming a tireless activist. Today, at the age of 86, Mike Farrell continues to speak out on social issues. His journey is a testament to how an artist can use their influence to create positive change in the world. From a surgeon saving lives in a film, he became a fighter for humanity in real life. Harry Morgan as Colonel Sherman T. Potter. When McLean Stevenson left, leaving a huge void, MASH 1972 needed a new commander, and Colonel Sherman T. Potter arrived. He was a regular Army cavalryman, a complete contrast to his predecessor Harry Morgan's performance at the time, already 60 years old, and a veteran actor brought a new, steadying presence to the series. With his firm voice, commanding demeanor, and catchphrases like horse hockey, he quickly won the hearts of the audience. He was both a commander and a father figure, a mentor to the rebellious young doctors, bringing much-needed stability to the unit. This role earned him an Emmy Award. Before putting on Colonel Potter's uniform, Harry Morgan had already had an illustrious career spanning decades. He was one of Hollywood's most reliable character actors, with over 100 films and countless television roles, most notably as Officer Bill Gannon in the series Dragnet after MASH 1972 ended. At an age when many have retired, he continued to work tirelessly. He joined the series after MASH and appeared in many other guest roles until he was nearly 80. He was the embodiment of professionalism and a fierce love for his craft in his personal life. He had a rather quiet family life and was deeply respected by his colleagues. The most thought-provoking thing is the connection between the role and his life. It seems the role of Colonel Potter was a perfect distillation of his qualities. While on screen, the character was a steady, reliable man, a patriarch to the entire unit in real life. Harry Morgan was the same. He was a professional, someone the younger actors could always turn to for guidance, a steady rock in the ever-shifting currents of the entertainment industry. However, that dignified and dedicated journey had to come to an end. After a phenomenal career that spanned more than half a century, on December 7, 2011, Harry Morgan passed away at the age of 96 from complications of pneumonia. His passing left a great void. The legacy he left behind is not just the role of the respected colonel, but a life story of a man who lived fully for his passion and was a symbol of artistic endurance. Larry Linville as Major Frank Burns. In MASH, 1972, the character of Frank Burns was one of the most despicable yet pitiable villains in television history. He was the embodiment of everything bad. Incompetent but arrogant, cowardly but a bully to the weak and hypocritical Larry Linville's performance at the time at age 33 brilliantly portrayed the man so contemptible he became comical. He bravely took on a role with not a single redeeming quality and turned it into a classic character and indispensable foil to Hawkeye's humanity. After 5 seasons, Larry Linville felt that the character of Frank Burns could not develop any further, and he decided to leave the series to seek new challenges. However, the shadow of Frank Burns was too large. He struggled with being typecast as villains or similar characters. Although he worked tirelessly on stage and in guest roles on television, he never found the same success as in his MASH 1972 days. It was an actor's tragedy. He played his part so perfectly that it defined the rest of his career. In his personal life, he went through several marriages and was described by colleagues as intelligent and kind, a complete opposite of the character he played. The most thought-provoking thing is the connection between the role and his life. It seems the role of Frank Burns was a complete opposite of the real man, but cruelly defined his fate. While on screen, the character was a failure in real life. Larry Linville was a talented actor, but he paid the price for that very talent. He became a victim of his own success, an ironic fate for an artist. However, that tumultuous journey of trying to overcome his own shadow had to come to an abrupt end. After surgery for cancer, he suffered complications. On April 10, 2000, Larry Linville passed away at the age of 60 from pneumonia. His passing left a great void. The legacy he left behind is not just the immortal role of Frank Burns, but a thought-provoking life story about the price of success and the relentless struggle of the artist. Kelly Nakahara as Nurse Kelly Yamato. In MASH, 1972, Nurse Kelly Yamato was initially just a face in the crowd, one of the many nurses working tirelessly in the operating room. But gradually, through the perseverance of actress Kelly Nakahara, the character gained a name, a voice, and a story. Her performance at the time, at age 25, authentically portrayed a dedicated nurse who was not only professional but also had her own feelings and concerns. Her most memorable moment was when she confronted Hawkeye, speaking to the feelings of women who were always seen as just nurses rather than as real individuals. After MASH, 1972 ended, Kelly Nakahara went on to a few other roles, notably as the cook in the classic film Clue 1985. However, she did not pursue an acting career aggressively. She chose a different path, one focused on family and art. She married, had children, and became a talented watercolor artist. She found joy and fulfillment in creating art and building a peaceful home. She lived a simple life, was part of her community, and was always remembered for her warmth and radiant smile. The most thought-provoking thing is the connection between the role and her life. It seems the role of Nurse Kelly reflected her own journey while on screen. The character went from being an anonymous face to a voice that was heard in real life. Kelly Nakahara also created her own legacy, not through loud fame, but through her life and her artwork. She proved that even the smallest roles can leave a deep and lasting impression. However, that colorful and peaceful journey had to come to an end. After a brief battle with cancer on February 16, 2020, Kelly Nakahara passed away at the age of 72 at her home in Pasadena. Her passing left a great void. The legacy she left behind is not just the role of the lovely nurse, but a life story of someone who found beauty in quietness and lived a full life in her own way.